I'm a bad boy.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Underground Podcast, brought to you by Ghostly Connection. If this is your first time tuning into the Underground, be sure to check out episode 3 with Seneca Rose, aka Rosie Rocket, and Carmen Berrysmith. Today we'll be speaking to producer, artist, and rapper Kay Kovey about the beginnings of her career, and we'll listen along to a new freestyle track recorded just the day before. In the future, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or go to ghostlyconnection.com. But for right now, relax and spend some time with your friends and mine. Our hosts, ghostabelar and UV.
I did have a Zan 13 hours till I land had me
up for the Underground Volume
4
with Kay Kovey, aka Cash.
Are
What's
we
up,
just
Cash?
gonna keep
What
doing
up?
sicko modes every intro? Yeah. Feel
The
it.
podcast is on sicko mode. However, this week is not Astroworld themed. You know,
It's
did
not
that.
Astroworld.
Not
themed.
Astroworld themed.
Well, it is.
Not
but
this
it is.
week. What is the theme for this week anyway?
The theme for this week, I say astrology because we're in a Mercury retrograde
In Scorpio.
in Scorpio. To you, Cash, a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio.
A Mercury retrograde in Scorpio means that the communication, it's like lights, camera, action. You know, me. Everybody's probably hurting right now, so people are probably either expressing that or trying to express that to others.
Yeah, in a Mercury retrograde, it's all the technology fails, so that's why we were
It's
late to
literally
start
in
the
one ear, out the
podcast.
other.
Communication.
Exactly. So,
This whole one ear thing has got me bugging.
exactly. Shout out to the one ear that can hear the podcast in the
The
studio
one ear.
headphones.
That's the left one, right?
I kind of do. I
It's my
gotta,
right one, but you
I
know, it's
kind of
right
got to
one?
switch it up. Do
it
beat
depends on what ear you
boy
wear it.
status. One ear out, one ear in.
Anyway, getting to the topic at hand. So I know you, Cash, writer, artist, activist, but for the people that don't know you, give them a little background info about yourself.
A little about me.
Yeah.
Just a little. I mean, give us what you need to, but a little. It's cool.
A little about me. It's my Kobe year.
Word.
R.I.P. I classify myself as a woman of color, a Black and Indigenous woman. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, and I like to make stuff.
So what kind of stuff have you been making these
I
last
like to
couple
make
days?
art. These last couple of days, I've been working on making beats, and I freestyled the other day for the first time in a while, and that felt pretty good.
Do the free verses often then.
Because I used to write a bunch of poetry, so now I just do it really fast in my head randomly sometimes to keep my brain sharp.
Yeah, you got to get into shape, not lose those freestyling connections.
You know, it's kind of funny because I see a book that's kind of guiding me toward the energy. I see the Wind Up Girl. You see that book that we have?
Yeah, shout out Henry Star Tuttle for dropping that book to us.
You know, what type of wind-ups have you been throwing at the world, Cash?
What are you winding up?
What do you mean? Like what I got for that ass?
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, see, I told you.
I'm not trying to blow the levels on that. Sorry.
What are you winding up for projects, for things that you're setting in motion so they're going to play out?
I have some old stuff that I've been trying to revamp and have to put out, and also I've been working on my style, my flow.
Your style, your flow, what
Yeah.
would you classify as your style these days? What do you think is styling?
Especially as a woman of
days,
color.
my
Like so
style-
many styles.
There's so many styles, so many of them are whack. What's your style?
You know, like just think like Aboriginal.
Yeah.
And-
Indigenous, ancient type stuff.
Yeah, like ancient scripture, like
Word.
sacred knowledge.
Oh, we got another one. Like, we had just got done with a podcast on some topics. So, what type of people in the community have you been around like that? Like, who have you been working with even?
Ooh, who have I been working with? Even I can't say no names because, fuck the police.
Yeah.
But I have been
Underground.
working with a bunch of people and people from different walks of life and I don't know, just humans. I mean, who just so happen to be here with us in this time, in this place. Powerful people, strong people,
Do they
healing
spit free
people.
verse?
Huh?
Do they spit some verses?
I mean, honestly, I was trying to start a band. I still am trying to start a band.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
shout out
Which
Cash's
is
punk
just
band.
like randomly just an idea of mine that I've had since I was a kid. So I don't know, something about Freaky Friday with Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis just made me want to start a band.
Yeah. So what's the vision for the band?
The vision for the band, I mean, the idea started off as like a punk band, but like it probably would just be like a fusion of whatever in the fuck we come up with, honestly, because it's never really that deep.
Yeah.
But just a bunch of people, well, a handful of people coming together and
A little
making music
squad.
that sounds good, just cool sounds. Like, got a drummer. We got like 2 drummers, 2 guitarists, and I sing a bit sometimes, so.
Would you put in production in that, or just live instrumentals?
I mean, I would sing, but I would love to help engineer it. When it comes to like mixing and mastering stuff, I think it's important to hear how everything sounds. And
Yeah.
Where do you find most of your time being spent? In your singing or the mixing and mastering of other people's singing?
I don't do much of mixing and mastering of other people's singing. I just sing myself and I make beats, so I feel like I have a pretty good ear for music and what sounds good, but that's just me.
Yeah, so you've been on the game for like 8 years, you were telling me the other day.
Yeah.
So what are some of your influences when you're producing?
Well, like definitely music composition. Like it all goes back to when I was a kid and my dad would listen to jazz and he would point out every instrument to me.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something I've always been focused on.
You think
like,
that influenced your musical ideas?
yeah, for sure. Like different elements of music. Like I feel like there's some key components in music that makes a song a song.
Yeah.
So I feel like it all boils down to jazz.
A whole lot of jazzy instruments in your life?
I mean, I feel like in a way all music is jazz
What way is that?
because it's just like a personal expression like through like any sort of musical instrument, and your voice is also considered an instrument too. So
Those
yeah.
facts. That improvisational aspect.
Oh yeah, totally. Just whatever comes naturally. It's like freestyling too.
Yep.
Like
Jazz is freestyling with
hip hop and
instruments.
rap that came from jazz and bebop. It's like the first like rap was in like 30 something, like 1934.
Really?
Yeah.
Where do you feel like that applies today, also keeping that like ancient element like intact? Because you were talking about like Aboriginal like things, like where would that be displayed today? Like how is it feeling for you?
How is it feeling like for me? It's like feeling the breeze on your skin through your hair.
And so you feel like you're at a point where such subtleties can kind of already be musical and kind of fit together like a little jazz ensemble?
Yeah, everybody got their solo.
Word.
And that's after, like, well, I guess, I don't know, like, sometimes usually they do solos, like, in the middle or, like, at the end of a jazz set, and I feel like that's cool because it starts off as, like, everybody, like, blending together, like, finding their own blend and mix of, like, what sounds good, and then they break off and have their time to just single out, like, all the good shit
Yeah.
that has been put together to make one awesome song.
Okay, so you definitely sound like the type of person that's been around a bunch of jazzy people that like more than a few times. I mean, like this the underground.
Well, she got the band starting up. You got to know at least a couple musicians.
Well, I've been going to open mics for a grip, like, since I was, like, 13.
Wow.
Okay.
So within that
consistent.
atmosphere, within that environment, you meet, people from all over the place.
How has your art changed from when you were 13, just learning to put out whatever it is you had out there, and now has it stayed the same, changed a lot? Like, what's your perspective on that?
I mean, I'll say what's changed and stayed the same. When I first started like writing poetry,
So it's just poetry back when you were 13?
yeah, I found it really hard to like. Well, no, open mic started when I was 13. Poetry started when I was like 10.
Wow.
So, I would say it starts with like, I don't know, it used to be like I started off with like certain rhyming schemes. Like in my language arts class, we just got certain prompts and stuff, and then we were able to, flip it how we wanted. And through that kind of like showed me like, oh, like I had this point in time where it was really hard for me to rhyme and get words to rhyme. And I'm like, how do you make full sentences and full phrases rhyme? Like that's hella hard, right?
Yeah.
And then, and so like after like outside of the prompts, like I wasn't making poetry that rhymed like at all. And I was like, is this even poetry if it doesn't rhyme, right?
Not all the time. Ooh.
And so my thing was like, okay, I started getting into rapping because, I don't know, I got bored of writing poetry because it was all depressing and about love and heartbreak, and I was just sick of it. And so I just started freestyling about like my emotions because I felt like there was some strange like permanence to stuff written on paper. So I just started freestyling.
Were you more of a writer or a freestyle? So you started off writing and then you moved to freestyling.
Yeah, so before I started actually writing songs and like writing actual raps, I was freestyling.
Yeah.
So, and when I was freestyling, even before I started writing songs and raps, I was making beats.
Yeah.
So like, making beats came from like, beatboxing and freestyling. So I started making beats, and then I was like, maybe I should start writing onto my beats. And so,
Oh, I'm gonna need to see these beats.
Yeah.
These beats you can write.
The beats are hot. I've heard them, but you just stayed at it. How has it evolved since you first got on making beats and making songs, and now how has it changed?
I'd say it's evolved to where I have like I've like broken out of so many different like structural patterns to where now like the structure is not even a big deal. I'm like not even focused on it. It just comes naturally, and it's it just seems to fit.
You're freestyling the structure with it.
Well,
freestyling the structure with it.
Well, not really, because through making beats, I had to find structure to freestyling because I didn't know how to count measures. Like I wasn't, familiar with like bar for bar and like what that actually meant. Hot 16, whatever. And so, through a friend of mine, I got to a deeper chapter of the elements of hip hop, as in like, okay, hip hop is like how it's measured out, like in fours and stuff, and like hip hop versus trap, and all this useful information that like totally helped me with making beats and my song structure, right? Because I had first started, I was listening to how beats are made and like how songs progress through the instrumental spectrum, right? But I wasn't able to apply that with like how I was like formulating my words and putting them together.
Yeah.
So somehow I figured out like how to tighten myself up a bit and how to make things make more sense through analyzing music.
Yeah, just getting better at the putting all this stuff together. Has your core message stayed the same, or has it changed, or were you not even didn't have a message necessarily? Even you're just getting out how you're feeling.
I mean, I would say that first I was worried about structure. Then I got structure without even realizing it. I was like going on a crazy tirade to learn all this new shit.
Yeah.
Just to like not even have to worry about structure at all, and it just comes naturally, and it's just like.
Because we was talking stylistics actually. A conversation that we had earlier between me and Cash was dealing on how different artists, as they do their art, already have all these styles. And part of being an individual is, not only having that style, but being able to kind of be versatile with what you can kind of put out. So, Cash, I would like to ask, how do you literally feel about multiple styles? And you just talked about how jazz is kind of like a play of them all.
Yeah, is your work one style, or is it a whole lot of different styles?
Oh,
or do you just combine them?
It's a whole lot of different styles in one. because I have so many different influences, and I kind of found like my own way. So
you're a
I'm not
music head.
just like any one person, not like any one style. I'm not like totally set on any one shape or form of artistry.
Yeah, I feel that. I know you're always listening to like so many different tunes. Like, what are like some artists that you think are just on the nose that you're really bumping to lately? Because I know you got those deep cuts.
Stylistics.
Oh shit. Oh man. I'd have to start with my favorite rapper. And I'm not even getting paid for this. Haji.
Haji, shout out Haji.
Haji. Shout out to Haji. I met you once and you were awesome. If you ever hear this, thank you for everything. But yeah, listening to how his music started and to where it is now, you can like hear the progression of like his growth and like how he utilizes all of his music influences and has like created something for himself that is just like a part of like such a, like we all play like such huge parts in such a huge picture, but also we're like very small, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a bunch of people together can make one dope ass artist if you really think about it.
Yep.
Or they can like, it takes a lot to inspire someone. And it's always good to get your inspiration from many places.
Definitely. When does it like, when are you just being influenced by someone and when are you copying someone? What do you think the difference is between that? Is it just like you start out copying and then grow greater, or is there a more clear-cut difference?
Ooh, I mean, when you say clear cut, I don't know. I mean, copying is like cookie cutter ass bullshit. Like it's like your standard. It's like what people would expect. I guess, especially if that's what you're trying to do, then like I see you. But I feel like, yeah, copying is cookie cutter bullshit, and I feel like anybody can do that or try to. But I mean, not any one artist is going to be the same, you know?
Yeah. So when does it get to the point where when did you feel like you were starting making something really individualistic, like unique to yourself, and not just start copying or not keep copying? Or was it always that totally original spark?
I mean, I would say I've like tried to like rap in styles of different rappers, but like just for fun though, like just like for satire.
Oh yeah, look, I sound like Young Thug.
Yeah, right? But nah, I mean, that's always fun and shit, but like when I first started freestyling, I would just get like high as shit, smoking hella weed in my room as a teenager and just like record myself like with the loudspeaker and my phone, and then I would just like mark my freestyles like Wiz Khalifa type freestyle, kind of like people do beats on YouTube. But yeah, that's pretty much as far as I went with that. But I feel like everybody has to start somewhere.
Facts.
Yeah, like for example, building my freestyle skill up. What I always used to do is like I always used to just kind of take, because I grew up listening to a lot of different backgrounds of music thrown into one area, like coming from the Bay Area and then like finding myself moving to Washington even at like 13. So I picked up on two whole literal regions, all both still West Coast even, of like influence, and still getting these influences from all other places. Like I found myself finding just like even mainstream or underground or a little bit of both in like both areas, and finding like the ones that had content that like could deliver fast. You know, I was a fan of fast deliveries, you know, at that point, because I was just like, if you can, you know, it takes that talent to actually be able to get a lot out without just, you know, really just saying one narrative or one thing. You know, if you have a lot to speak about and you're using a lot of words, hopefully you actually have a lot to speak about. And if you're spitting it faster than most, maybe you're actually keeping up on it just a little bit and you're really getting out that content quick, like, you know, more than just the ability, you know. so I would go after that, really try to challenge myself to really hit that. So what I would do, I would find the fastest rapper, which for me at the time, you could always try to go to Twista.
I knew it was going to be
Yeah,
Twista.
And you could really see how fast you could get even your regular thoughts
shit on your back. I want to know your name.
Yeah, baby, I can't do it that fast. But I know somebody who can.
Exactly.
That was my track.
You know, so it was really showing that, like for example, my own name is Kareem, and Rakim is a rapper, and if you know Rakim, it's funk, it's funk with the style elements. There's a lot of bass elements, a lot of like groove with moves, like being done, you know, because that actually would lead me into a question for you, Cash, is how have you seen people move around you as you've been doing this, your own style underground?
Well,
yeah.
You know, the underground is something within itself, right? So you got the mainstream. Like, I'm from Portland, Oregon. Okay. And so, I mean, I would say the most mainstream person who's an artist, who's been popping for a minute. Okay. I went to middle school with that guy.
Damn.
Somehow, out of all of us little people in Portland, he got big. Cool. And then you got everybody else in Portland. And then you have me. So, you know, seeing that, you know, one person from Portland, Oregon got so big, and then knowing that there's so many artists in one place, and seeing that they have their own community, and they're, you know, they catch themselves like trying to support each other and others, and having shows and stuff, local shows. I've gotten out into that world, and all I see is a bunch of kiss asses.
Damn.
And like literally, like you know, you got the superstars, the celebrities, and you got the groupies. They're all groupies.
They're all groupies for Amine. So what do you think got Amine big? Was
Not
it talent or luck?
Not for him per se. I don't know what they think of his success. You know, if they don't support him,
they're just clout chasers.
Or if they do support him, like I don't know. Like those are his fans.
They see the
10,000,
like
they see the 10 million
movie?
views on YouTube, and they're like, "Yeah, I sucked that guy's dick for a feature." Like,
well,
no,
I mean,
like
like a Tarantino movie.
yeah, like
it's just like everybody's trying to be the next big thing, and I guess that's a thing everywhere you go. But I just realized that I don't know, like the way that's been paved, I'm not trying to walk that road. Like I'm going off of the unbeaten path, you know.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's pretty.
Like I'm coming through with the machete and shit. Like I'm not fucking with these motherfuckers who.
So what makes you different than all the clout chasing motherfuckers?
I mean, I don't know. I'm just doing this because it feels good to me.
Yeah.
And because, you know, maybe hopefully someday people will enjoy it. And I'm not looking for clout. I don't want nobody kissing my ass because that's annoying. And that's also a privilege. And I don't want to give anybody that satisfaction. So I'm just chilling, yo. Like, I still listen to music from, like, who knows when. I'm not, like, you know, on the, like, top 100 list every day seeing what's changed. I just create within my own, like, need to create just because it is, like, something I feel like I need to do to feel like I'm actually living rather than just surviving and waking up every day.
I have a question to ask, if I may.
What is it?
On a scale of Beyonce to Rhapsody, with no comparisons made because you already walk your own path, what energy are you leaning toward stylistically with so much influence? I mean, I just played Rhapsody in the car for you earlier. Did you peep that?
Yeah. Rhapsody's always fire.
I think I would. So, I mean, but that doesn't say that you would necessarily lean that way.
I'm just talking shit.
We're all Destiny's
I'm
Child
just
in
talking
the
shit.
end.
I mean, I can say some of my favorite female artists.
Yeah, give them a list. Tell them what's up.
A list of what's up. Okay, hold on. I have to think about this one. I know I shouldn't have to think this hard.
Give them like top 5 or top 10.
Yeah.
John Doe, or Jane Doe, Jean Grey. Let's see who else is there. There's Tierra Whack. There's Little Sims. There's Zillow. There's also Sampa the Great. There's also, like, who else is there? There's so many ill people. Like, I don't know. I haven't checked on Lady LaSure in a while, but she's also dope. She's always been dope. I probably fucked up the first two names because I'm nervous, but yeah. Missy Elliott.
Yeah, you forgot one.
What?
Kay Kovey.
Oh, yeah, Kay
Gonna
Kovey.
hear the music when we get back from a break. Gonna hear some new unreleased fire. We'll catch you in a second.
Word.
Check you later. All right, and we are back.
What's
With
up?
the lube.
What up?
Gonna hear the hot new Kay Kovey. Is there a title for this song?
This one, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and before we play it, I like to say I had to put the paint down for this.
Yep. Cash has been painting a beautiful watercolor this whole time, but she's ready to put the paint down
Yep,
and really be on it.
really
on the
be
mic.
on it, on the mic, get to this music. So when I made this freestyle, when I freestyled this, it's like a free beat off of YouTube. I just ghetto bootleg recorded it, and it's just kind of like when I freestyled this, it was the conclusion I came to, and it was just one of those like it is what it is kind of things.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody can relate to it is what it is kind of thing. So
It is what it is, freestyle type beat.
peep it.
Word. Like the funk of it already.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely the Badu elements. Word.
This guy here's all of it. Oh, lucky.
It's a tease already within the tease.
You going in.
You going in and I feel the tease in it because it's unreleased and you spin that it's gonna be like that. It is what it is. You were like free version. Your cloud of mind space is calming.
This is all a freestyle. He's going in.
Jazzing it out. Jazzing it out. No, that's one thing. This was not boring.
Just do music just to like regurgitate like whatever the fuck consumerism, whatever they consume is regurgitate, and the shit happens, shit they consume is like garbage.
So you are definitely not into regurgitating anything, pretty much. Especially because we regurgitated.
Yeah.
Okay, word. That's cool too.
Because life is like full of change and transformation.
Okay.
So I feel like that's something that's
I like your contrastion. The word would be contractions, but contrasting details.
The flows keeps on going. There's always more flows with this. You're just going off. This is all one freestyle. Damn, you were on it. How many tries did you do that one? Was that the first, just one try off the top?
freestyle.
That's crazy.
So that's a power pack punch for
Filthy.
free verse flow. That first off, that was not boring. That was not
flame.
snoring, and not all of that needed to rhyme. And we had put that in point for the artistry to really kind of just have a power punch to really flow like that. It's very elemental because I found a lot of Badu-ish like elements.
Definitely Badu-ish like elements. Definitely just you. I don't know. There was so many different flows on that track.
Oh, Badu. People compare and contrast me to Badu a lot. I put a lot of song. I like to put song with my raps. I like to rap songs.
Yeah. It
I
definitely
don't
feels
even
like you
write songs that much
expressed like a
anymore.
full element or feeling in that whole verse. 'Cause that was like 4 minutes or something. You know, you went off and really just broke down that whole beat, whole feeling.
That's what it's made for.
Okay, so you were able to break down a feeling over a beat, which that in of itself is is a very platforming feature of itself. I try not to rhyme a lot. See, I'm one of those like automatic rhyme all the time guys, and it's one of those things that I'd say on a dime. I can't find the time to get over the rhyme. So let me ask you then, where do you find the time to get over the rhyme? How many of your songs rhyme? Even if you do spit them.
I mean, I wish we could have like all heard it like in full spectrum. I do rhyme a lot. It's just how you rhyme, I guess.
It's a stylistic.
Yeah, so like sometimes I'll like, I mean, I don't know, some people you can tell like they take like a vowel and they stress it, or they like take one word and they rhyme with it, or like the beginning of a word and they rhyme with it, or the ending of a word and they rhyme with it, or they rhyme with like a ending, like a whole ending word versus
progressive message through like expression.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I don't know, who can I bring up? I mean, like somebody like Chance the Rapper, for example, even though Chance the Rapper, in my opinion, these past, I don't know what happened. He like, I don't know, then he just became a Christian rapper.
Yeah, that's a...
I'd rather not talk about religion, but spirituality, all for it. Religion, you lost me. Yeah, because just the way that Chance the Rapper raps, like he doesn't like rhyme all the time with his raps, but like he has like his rhyme scheme is like... He like takes like a certain sound of a word sometimes, and then like
he stresses it.
Yeah, he stresses it. Yeah, and so I don't know. I've played around with that, but also like a good dear friend of mine, Sam, Couch God, R.I.P. Right. He I got in the studio with him one day. When you rap, you should tell a story, and so. That's something that's helped me ground my lyrics and
like
how and how I play around with my rhymes.
So there's definitely still a structure to it, and rhyme is still included. It's included in a kind of more of a stylistic element then.
Yeah, but personally, I'm more of a melody person. Like I'm all for melodies, and that's helped me a lot with my music. So I'm all for like melodies and hooks that just flow and that ring a bell.
I love to hear a melodic trap piece that you would make. That's, you know, with a name like I'm really thinking
Kay Kovey.
KayKovey ultimatum is...
Yeah, it's Kay Kovey.
KayKovey, what type of trap melodic beats have you been cooking up recently?
What type of trap melodic beats have I been cooking up recently? Honestly, a bunch. I just realized that, a bunch.
Yeah, So you got hella beats. Shout out the collab song we're working on to come out eventually.
Oh yeah, true. That good old Agar.
I'd love to hear some like trap melodic ever.
Yo. And you gotta have the drums, okay?
Word.
You gotta have the wind instruments too, you know.
So what do you start with when you're producing a track? The drums first or a melody?
Well, I mean, when I'm producing, like I didn't produce the last track we just heard, but when I'm producing, I just take like one instrument and then I just add on to it.
Yeah.
So I might start off with like a wind instrument or like some keys that sound like wind instruments, you know?
Yeah.
Or I might start off with drums. It all depends.
It's kind of like a traditional
Or I might start off with bass.
Oh.
I like to start off with bass.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Is it easier for you to freestyle on your own beats or freestyle or on other people's beats?
I feel like it's a lot more fun, I should say, to freestyle on other beats aside from my own, because, I mean, freestyling on my own beats are always a challenge for me personally, because when I make beats, I'm in like a totally different headspace, and so it's like a totally different type of energy. So it's like total utter shift and clusterfuck when I try to like lyrics on that. But sometimes it can come out good. Like I've been having fun, but I've been needing to really buckle down and write actual lyrics to the melodies that I've made for lyrics for the beats that I've made.
If you already blocked out the melodies of what you want on the beats you make, you just don't know the words.
Exactly.
So it always does come melody first for you then.
Yeah.
You know what?
Like a simple hum. Da, 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 da. Da 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 da.
That's simple. I was actually in my head. I was thinking of a beat that was kind of in that part. You guys know the song "Bad News" by Kanye West?
Somehow I don't.
By Kanye?
Bad News.
Yeah, it was one of those tracks. Think the Yeezus album.
There's no song called Bad
Oh,
News.
no, not bad. No, sorry. 808 and Heartbreak. You know, you're right. You're
No, I think
absolutely
that's my least listened to Kanye record.
It was the one, if I may dare speak on that rapper, even Christian rapper, actually.
That presidential
ironically,
candidate.
You know, yeah, he's very political, is why I try to stay away from as much Kanye elements as I can, though he's a very interesting person in general to talk about. But what I'm getting at is the song "Bad News," the style of it starts with piano and it plays very emotionally in the depth of, like, because he produces as well, as we all know, and he likes to put his own sounds through his actual words as actual production. He jazzes his literal voice up and puts it through that expression, so he ends up kind of like actually what a lot of artists have ironically regurgitated is really singing with that like auto-tune-ish like vibe vocal with a piano start and then the drums kick in, like, and it's actually one of the most 808 and Heartbreak song "Bad News." It really has a very undergroundish like trap like Aborigine literally like tone to it, and if it's underground, if you guys haven't heard it, then
shout out Bad News.
It's what
Kanye
literally
West.
gave me like an ear for where I feel like if you were creating beats and you were, you know, you had a song that you would put out that was just a poppin' beat, right? And you had a song that you had kind of melodically written a piece over to that kind of flowed through, didn't even rhyme but had rhyme in it. You know what I mean? Where you would you'd have a piece all together that really kind of like sung an expression and the whole thing would be a sound. So that's how I describe the song "Bad News." So like where I'm getting at is like, what type of songs have you made or what type of beats have you like kind of sung a sound into it? Like this would be like kind of like the melodies that include something like vocals, because you sing too.
Well, you have another
right?
piece to show us, right? The other song.
Yeah, I mean, I could throw in, since we're talking about beats, I could throw in one of my beats or something
You
that
want
I've
to throw on that
written to.
heat? Throw on a track.
Yeah, let's get a sample of it.
I mean, I have a rough copy. This is something that I was going to wait to show, but I might as well show it
Wow,
now since
we're
I'm
honored.
here. So
Exclusive.
it's actually on there. It's called Fine All Right. And it's it started off with a guitar, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we put it in the headphones?
Technicality.
Shout out Mercury.
You know, even from that first little sound bit, I'm already getting a Willow Smith like, you know, element to it.
Hello Willow in that one.
That's another
Big
artist
ups to
that I
her.
really,
I should've said her.
I get around a few. I have my list of nice female vocalists. Cash, you may be one of them. So.
I get into it. This is like super rough, so like I didn't know what I was doing.
When do you record
I had
it?
no idea it just came out. It just came out my brain, and so eventually I started to sound better and get into a groove.
When'd you record it?
Like yesterday.
As recent as we can get.
Past 2 days, yeah.
Oh, I find it hard to act like
I made
fire.
I don't even know, like, I was kind of like, I mean, you know, everybody, well, not everybody, but, you know, people talk about their emo phases. People have been reminiscing on their emo phases a lot.
Did you in your emo phase?
Something like that. I mean, I guess it's like not, some would call it emo, some would be like, fuck no, it's not emo, that's some other shit.
It's whatever you want it to be, you know? It's like, I don't fuck with like genres really, because like it is what it is. Like genres are for you to like classify it. I don't really feel like I need to worry about it. Because like, why does an artist need to like quantify their own work in a genre?
Right. And my thing is, you can like keep a snippet from this song, just because it was more of like a blueprint for a song to write on it. But like, since you guys are asking, like, use like your melody to your own beats for a song, like, yeah,
I definitely hear it.
Starts off.
Yeah, I love all
with
the production.
Like la-da-das and
Yeah, like I hear the production in this. You hit it spot on. Like everything, I was literally like, whoa, can I hear this? Like, boom, you were literally working on it yesterday. There it is.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, I like this particular song because it literally is a fluid flow of, with a melodic string of like what you're finding. Like it literally goes to the description of like what you're speaking about, which is going toward like that lyrical content. Like now what you're saying like literally is flowing in through with the song. Especially when I was going through it like in a rough spot in life, it got me out of it. You know, it was Kanye's Bad News, but that song was great vibes. That's where I'm getting at. Like I was vibing to it. I like that second
its own
track.
vibe. The beat was good. I love the harps or whatever that thing was. It was kind of like distorted near the end. Production going wild. Fire.
Production quality.
Thank you. I produced it myself.
And then they're
100%.
singing. And then they're singing. Production quality and they're singing.
Thank you.
Very pretty music, Kay Kovey.
Yeah, but I didn't get started like singing or rapping to my own beats. Like that totally came after a lot of work on myself and a lot of work on these elements individually.
Yeah, it takes a while to just bring together the halves of producing and rapping to make something. I mean, I still haven't, but one of these days.
Yeah. One of my inspirations actually was like Mick Jenkins.
What's this next? So we got one more track that we can play. So what's this one?
Trap.
The Truth.
The Truth.
Oh, word. Okay.
KayKovey gonna give you The Truth.
It's not trap, but it's a song that I made.
Okay.
Freestyling.
Yesterday?
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Is this some
It's not my
YouTube beat?
though. It's a YouTube beat.
Yep.
I guess playing around with my style and with my storytelling too, because, you know, the homie Sam was right. Well, I know that the homie Sam was right at this point in the game. I mean, telling a story, you know, that's how you keep people's interest.
Yeah, make it more relatable.
Yeah.
So is there a story in this one?
Yeah. It's like there's a motif. I don't usually do that.
Yep.
You don't do copies, no motifs. All right, so let's hear this.
Yeah, totally by far.
Oh, I swear I remember you performing this.
I think it's the one, son.
Say you spit through. It's like you was in the booth spitting truth.
My bootleg boots spitting the truth.
Have you found yourself writing more like lyrically recently to like anything on the art of foreplay and wordplay rather? Foreplay and wordplay actually, both, with kind of like those elements of like what makes art stand out. This being the truth that like you spit within like this song. How would you say you make the lyrics, if you ever speak your truth, stand out? You said a story. What's your story looking like through this?
Just whatever I feel like talking about at the moment, if I want to.
Self-expression.
Well, yeah, I'm constantly expressing myself, but more so like
The freedom of expression?
Storytelling for me is kind of like me. It's like oh, like when someone's like, and do tell.
Hip hop does get very commercialized, and that's kind of the industry like politics of like where you find literal artists like suffering through their pain, like let alone the color racial divides of like political barrier that prevents like people from literally being unified, coloristic aspects, like, you know, where it's a straight literal battle, you know.
Fire. The track was fire. I love the like abstract freestyle outro, honestly. I feel like those that's underrated, you know, just like, but it's all sound. I've been listening to a lot of like, you heard some in the car, shout out Energy by Disclosure. They had a bunch of tracks where it's like, one's in Spanish, one's in some African language, and it's like, I just fuck with it because it's like, I have no idea what they're saying, you know, like maybe I might have an idea, but it's not even about that. It's about like, the sound and vibrations and just shapes of the sound. So it's like that was even its own flow. It's like just abstract outro. But the whole thing, I mean, you were spitting bars the whole time too. You know, so it's not like there was really a bad part of the song.
Yeah, you have a flow of paint through your truth is what I'm getting at.
Painted truth. KayKovey.
Yeah, painted truth versus painting a truth. You know, like art, and then there's like art abstract, and your art includes the truth of what you go through as a person, a female in your cultural domain to, you know, be able to express the way that you want to express. We're going through a very political time. Let's speak about, Black Lives Matter being like the protest of the fact that, you know, brutalities have existed through like cultures and regimes, and especially in this country, we already know that we're no strangers to the dangers that, you know, we still have like the racial divides of the politics that literally keep us shooting at regimes of power that have literally put us all in an economic turmoil spin system.
Yeah, where do politics fit into your music? Do you just, is it more for you to express yourself, or is that an aspect of how you express yourself? Like, I talk about how I'm feeling, so of course I'm going to talk about politics. Or do you ever go in with a song and just be like, I'm going to make a political song?
I don't do no politicking.
Yeah.
Vote no.
Vote no for president.
For president. Well, I feel like speech. I feel like your voice and speech is a tool that should be used to help each other. And I feel like expression is a way to say, hey, like, I'm here with you, we're here together. So I feel like that's very important. And that's something I'd like to reach out with my music.
You have that feeling of being in this together?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because
nobody's truly alone.
in politics, all that is the game of people being represented by like,
dividing people.
And it's
Straight up.
just like
well, it's a game of dividing
put
people.
against each other for sure. Like it's charades.
See, politics, the word is like in and of itself because like there's literal politics in politics. If you were to take an actual structure that had people liberally be able to like represent themselves as free as they actually wanted to, and you had a person represent you, I mean, let's think about it, like Kanye for president. That's been a thing.
He put out his first ad yesterday. I liked it the most out of all the presidential ads I've seen, but it's like, you know, that's not saying too much.
And, you know, no politicking, but motherfuckers just really be out there in politics.
At the very least, I thought it was a good art piece, you know. You know, I got much love for Easy, so.
Yeah, I mean, the man does art, but, you know.
At this point, it's like,
does he really do politics?
What's at the end
Or
of
is
the
he
day,
trying to do politics?
how much of it there is a difference, really, you know? Because either way, you're speaking about something, but it's only one's more formalized and one is less formalized. I mean, at least at the higher levels. But like every day, you know, it's like, does living in the park count as a political act? To some, maybe. You know, even if it's just you living your life.
Yeah, but to some, formalities are just literally that. Some sort of formation in general. I mean, the Diogenes culture within me literally says, you know, like, if you piss where you sleep, you know, you're used to your own piss smell. So, like, you know, there's a very animalistic...
That's ancient advice.
There's a very animalistic nature.
A wise man once said...
That kind of, like, hermit way of living. I've
other
known
people
some
aren't
old
necessarily
cats
used to that
through
piss
the
smell. Keep that in mind.
that, like, will actually, yeah.
Shout out Lando with the socks.
They live very rugged. That's to say least, and that's the, you know, their lifestyle, their culture. Many different people, you know, all over the place that I felt I picked up around. Have you had any inspirators that have like really stood out to you going through your expression? Like, have you ever had any person that you've been like, wow,
oh man,
they sound like I could really see their flow through it.
The artist, well, see my flow, like rap wise. I don't know.
Or status
I feel
wise.
like that's just me. But
Yeah,
I
at
feel
this
like
point you've been in it so long.
just
It's like,
musically
this is just
wise, like what just like, you know, gets my juices flowing.
Yeah,
James
what gets you
Fauntleroy.
political? What gets you talking about it?
James Fauntleroy.
Okay.
I love him.
What's he be
so
talking
much.
about?
And the thing is, James Fauntleroy is a musician. Like, he has written songs for so many people. He's worked with so many, like, famous and very talented people and highly favored. Oh my God, he's worked with so many people. He's, like, written songs for Brandy.
If you could work with one person creatively, anyone, who would it be?
Who would it be?
God has opened up the door. It's like, all right, Cash, you got one dream collab. It's going to happen in 6 months. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Who are you telling?
It's James Fauntleroy.
James Fauntleroy. Ooh.
It is. He's literally like one of the best music compositionists. Like,
I'm going to have to check it out. I literally have no idea who that is.
I've gotten around to the name, but I've been checking
he's
out.
amazing. Like
I've been
but like
bumping
just
him.
through his like, oh man, like
What is
just,
it?
like,
What is it
his-
about James
his-
Fauntleroy?
What's gonna
What
get me
is
bumping
it
James
about
Fauntleroy?
him? It's his, I would say his vulnerability, but like the way he puts it out there in his like imagery, like through like how he expresses feelings, it's really so inspiring to me. And that kind of shit is what has made like what has helped me like actually like say some shit like I've never thought I would say like so proudly, you know.
Yeah, your music does have a lot of that like personal emotion in it, and you're just really talking about how you feel about this and that. So I could see that being an influence for sure.
People should talk about their like how they feel more
Definitely.
instead of being like, well, like I just feel like it's just so important. It's just so important because like how else are we gonna ascend? Like we gotta be on the same level to ascend, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it really is like a per one person trip or something, but I don't know. But like rap wise, that's really tough because I don't even like know who like I would like even say like truthfully because there's so many people.
Rihanna.
No.
No.
Except for like I really did fuck with her for like a heavy grip and I still kind of do. I love her. I got love for her, but no, I don't. Nah, definitely not. But I would probably say like Lauryn Hill.
Yep.
That's all I can really say.
That'd be a crazy collab for sure. What's the one last thing you want to leave people
I
with
don't know.
before
Would
your
I
music?
collab with her? I can't do that. I mean, I would be honored, but like, I don't know. It's kind of tough when you
Yeah.
think of like, like these like mega personalities. Like these people are fucking huge.
Yeah.
Are there any other like avenues of like other arts, for example, like movies, like not musicians, filmmakers or actors, actresses that you've been like inspired by? Artists like book writers. What type of them are you interested in? Like
Honestly, Frida Kahlo.
Shout out Frida Kahlo. She's still, I was in
so
Mexico
wonderful.
City. There's so much Frida Kahlo still there. Frida Kahlo's spirit is definitely still around.
Her spirit, like it's like, oh my God, yes, Frida. That is all. Like I don't know. Do we have to get into this?
What about her? What about her? Do you?
The fact that she loves so ferociously, like, and the fact that she's like, oh my God, the way she's transferred her pain into beauty, and her like way that she like expresses her own freedom and her like love to like, oh my God, like she's so amazing. She's like, I don't give a fuck. I give the most fucks. Like, you hit me up when you give as many fucks as I do. And I love her for that. I really do love her for that. For that, I cherish her and her life that she lived and how she's touched the world.
Shout out Frida Kahlo. What's the one last thing you want to leave people with about the music before we go on a quick break?
or anything maybe.
Anything we've touched on? What do you want to leave the people
Maybe
with?
even not necessarily about
after
music,
hearing the
but-
hot new tracks.
Yeah.
What do you
Or
want to tell them?
tracks.
It's okay to talk about your feeling. Like, your feelings are valid because they are your...
Facts. Live the truth. Anyway,
And that's your truth, even if it isn't someone else's.
Yeah.
And if it's not someone else's truth, that's okay too.
for real. Catch the new single, The Truth, coming out eventually.
Yeah, truth
And
and subjectivity.
we'll see you back for the hard-hitting questions when we return.
Peace.
Truth and subjectivity.
We're back
Here we
for the
are.
hard-hitting question
Hit me.
with UV. He's gazing at the flame, ready to get the fire for the questions.
The fire.
There will be no rest.
Ch-ch-ch-ch-chamon.
That's why God invented lighters, dude.
Get lit,
Yeah.
lit. Get lit. It's about to go down. Buddy with your bitch trying to hit a lick. Let the syrup sip. What's going on? What's going on?
Bada bing.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. I feel like it's not a saying from like a Rocky movie or something. Am I
Yeah, I don't
totally
know.
wrong?
I think bada bing's been said a lot throughout, maybe even before English, The Romans were out there saying bada bing.
My people overtook the Romans.
Wow, really?
They did.
Bless the fall of Rome's coming. Donald Trump, we're going to have 2020. What's going down? All I'm saying is I saw those memes. It's like 12 Roman emperors died after they went and put their personal guard at risk. So I don't know what's about to happen.
I say fuck that shit. We have lives that need to be lived. Yeah.
We're here for the hard-hitting questions. Back with one candle.
Hit me.
Yeah.
Back with one energy. Let's hit her with the hard hitters.
Yup.
Well, formalities of most introduced be that like we would have preemptive questions for each of the 7 questions, but we are going to kind of keep it directly to 7 straight zingers on this one.
Yep.
So these hard hitters are just going to kind of come at you.
Bada
which is
bing.
7 straight ones.
Come at me, bro.
Word. First one. What inspired you to do art?
Oof.
Well, what inspired me to do art? Oh, man, that hits hard. I'd have to say art class at school.
Word.
And
made you want to do it
getting
from there?
an easel
Getting an easel.
for a birthday or Christmas one year when I was little.
So it's having the opportunity put in front of you. You were just like, oh, I didn't know I could do this, but I can do it.
Yeah, but I was definitely creative in other ways, like before I started like getting into music and drawing and stuff.
Or you got that brain that thinks outside the box. There is
Yeah.
no box. Just an illusion.
Exactly.
Just a line.
And if there's a box, you better fill it up with something good.
Yup.
All right. Question 2. What other forms of expression are in your repertoire, essentially? What other things beyond music or your art can you do? And do you do?
I dance, I laugh,
Word.
I joke around a lot.
Is there a real difference between your outside everyday life and your art when you think about it? Because it's like one creates the other in a way.
True. I feel like I'm always creating something so, I don't know, I guess like meaningful connections and sharing experiences with people. That's a hard question. I guess that constant search for inspiration and
Was it environmental, or do you think it came naturally through your environment? That's like a side question.
we all pick things up along the way. I feel like I picked it up maybe somewhere along the lines of cool patterns and stuff that I've seen in nature.
Word. Question 3. Where inspires you to flow with your art? Where are you flowing with your art? What area is that bringing you to?
The river.
Shout out water.
Shout out water. Shout out Mother Nature.
Water more important than the gold. Wise man was. Shout out Mick Jenkins.
Man. But without water, there wouldn't be
Who
anything.
wouldn't be people.
There wouldn't be anything without water. Not here, at least.
Facts.
Okay, so would you say elementally, this is a side question, would you flow with some river-like aborigines versus like, say, mountain-like aborigines?
Yes.
Okay, so you have a literal stylistic element. So if we were to pick a chart, you feeling water per se. I mean, you definitely have a flow, so that that would kind of even be transgressed. That I'd say you have a water-like flow to you. So if
Thanks.
it's a river, then paint that element. What color is your river looking like?
Oh, Cancer Gang. I just had to put it out there one time. Yeah, Cancer Gang, you know, shouts to my Scorpios. Yeah. Let's see, what color is my river?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. I mean, I don't know. The river and the ocean and the lakes, they all have different colors.
Facts.
So
Any
I'd
color
say,
come to mind? Yeah.
I'd say green and blue and brown.
Question number 4 would kind of be more like, where do you see yourself through the things you do? Where do you see yourself taking you in the future? Like with your art, where will it take you?
Man, I feel like I do this all for the sake of like my need for like spiritual freedom.
To express yourself or to just do what you want?
They're like both in the same.
They're the same.
So you say that this would be kind of like a step toward your, personal spiritual evolution in a way?
Oh.
So you see yourself toward like that?
Definitely, and also taking part in others as well. Like their whole journey here since we're on this spinning thing together.
A connectivity. Flow like a river. Yeah.
To make a good impact in one another's lives, it's like, it starts in the soil, man.
Okay. 5th question be, what inspired you as a child to do what you do? For like, think of places, that childlike imagination and wonder is something that has a natural creativity. So like, what inspired you to be creative when you were younger versus where you are now?
Rebellion against myself.
What do you mean by that?
Rebellion against that part of myself that, said that the part of myself that like held myself back,
Yeah, to push yourself.
Yeah.
So you've had self-reflective emo moments. Just the same, like, would you say earlier in your life then? Was it early?
Yeah, totally was. It was out of me like singing and then getting really shy. And it was me singing and getting really shy and then getting quiet all of a sudden. Then my dad saying that if I'm going to sing it, I should sing it and sing it loud.
Right.
So that's where that started.
Inner question, is your family proud of what you do artistically, would you say?
Shit, I'd hope so. I know so.
Fuck
yes.
Right. Question 6 would be like, where do you see yourself flowing into the community in the future? Or if now, how do you flow into the community?
Working with people, talking to people, pretty much just spreading the word, like, having those ciphers and, like having those moments where you're like hanging out with someone, you guys are both bobbing your head because, the music's good.
Where good ciphers at?
Oh man, they can happen anywhere.
Where have you found the best storytellers? Where?
The best storytellers?
Yeah, some ciphers are better than others, yeah, for sure. But we're the best storytellers. Who's telling the stories?
I've met the best storytellers in the cuts. Like, they be that, like, one person at the party, who, like, probably is, like, sitting down a lot. I'm be real with you. He's not the one walking up to everybody trying to rap. He's probably just sitting down somewhere chilling, yo. And if you actually have a conversation with that person, and then you maybe get them to rap, because if they're a rapper, if that's what they do, or if they can rhyme, then sure, they'll tell you a story.
Optional. Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Any
not
parties
to say
recently?
not to say that anybody, hopping around, shooting the shit isn't a good storyteller, but
Oh, no.
it'd be wise to recruit those who.
Yeah, because you got the really crazy shit. You can't just be saying it to everybody all the time.
Yeah. Where are those parties at? Where do you find yourself location wise when you feel like you find a dude in the
cuts? It just happen, bro. It's like
it just happens. Like it's
there.
like not expected. You're just with a person, or you're by yourself, or you meet someone, or you get hit up by somebody's like, hey, what's up? Come through.
Or if that guy puts on a show, then there's always a cipher at the end. It's flame, honestly.
What type of areas are you roaming around when that happens?
Me? Oh, man. I be all over the place. Honestly, it doesn't even matter where I'm at this point. Somehow music just stays in my life. And
Okay, so it's been pretty universal in general. It
Yeah.
is now a river flow that is consistently having you ebb in with a lot of lyricists that are kind of in the back speaking stories down with their linguistics already spoken to. So okay, that's cool, and
Yeah.
that's very Aboriginal like in form.
Right, like the elders, man.
Yeah. So elder spit.
Spoken languages weren't even written like for the longest time. They were just spoken.
Oh yeah, no, I mean when just chilling at Cal, I don't know how many, because that's a flock land to the area's region of elders be in the cuts of the area coming back to the park for like you would, God knows whatever reason, I don't know, would like just flock there because it's centralized and easy to get to. That's about it, you know. Lands of the traversed old. I met this guy named Isaac Nuisance. I remember that.
Oh, no fucking way.
Oh, you know Isaac?
No, Isaac Nuisance.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Was he a nuisance? They a nuisance?
Not Newton.
Real,
Nuisance.
yeah, Nuisance. Real
Like
story.
he's annoying?
Real story. I was walking. I came back from. It wasn't Headfest. Folklife, Seattle Folklife. I was. I had taken. I think that was like my first time taking psychedelics, but like it was. I don't even think it was psychedelic, but because I wasn't feeling it, and I had taken acid before. And it was something that someone had gave me. You're not supposed to take strange drugs that you're given from people. First off, I'm gonna let that know that public service announcement. Don't take strange drugs. You just handed. But there was this time. Yeah, and that happened. It was after Folklife, and I was walking around barefoot, and I found myself. I literally wandered into Cal Anderson. I didn't even know the name of the park at this time. I just knew that the park was central. It was the central like park over in Capitol Hill, and I walked there, and I get to the monument area, kind of by the like the water fountain area, and there's Isaac Nuisance chilling there. I
love that
He had
name.
broken records, but yet like a string of like records backpack, true as hippie shit. Like he had been around the world back 2-3 times, and yes, he did have his own Winnebago. He
So
took
he
me
was
to
selling
it.
his own vinyl.
Yeah, no, dude was a Pisces. He's when I say elder, like we're talking like
That's
dude
tight.
is a
Shout
guy.
out Isaac Nuisance.
Yeah, you can find him literally on Facebook. But I ended up talking with this dude, and I was barefoot at the time, and he asked me, "Where are your shoes, young man?" I was like, I don't know. I got hippie and just started walking around because I that after
place
walking
to be.
around so much all that day, I was like, fuck it. My shoes are uncomfortable anyway, and it was only temporary,
Yeah.
but it had me like literally walking through, and I wandered actually for a lot longer than I had thought. And ran into that dude. And the funniest part was he was so literal rebel punk that he was like, "Can I play you a song?" Yeah, of course. He had a whole guitar, bam, and would just go from like literal string of what sounded like nonsense to literally ripping a whole new one about the literal cultural governmental standards we live in and the fucking
Right.
bureaucrats and like just so classically. And I was really like insanely like whoa, like you're not even like doing music. He said something slick like, "I've been around this industry a few times or whatnot," because he had whole vinyls.
Yeah, it takes work. If you're out there hawking vinyls, like I'm honestly more likely to buy a vinyl on the street than I am a CD because I don't even have a way to play either. But it's like a vinyl that's just cooler. That takes effort to sell your own vinyl out of a pickup truck in this day.
Yeah. It was a classic old man, blonde hair, like hippies looking like man with the guitar. You'd
Yep,
think he
man.
had a dog with him type dude, realistically, with the whole fit. After meeting Isaac Nuisance and getting his Facebook contact, it was quite an experience where I found myself just like intertwined with an elder, and his music was spitting to the fact the music industry is not a scene, pretty much. And that is a song already, even by an artist, but it's truth, and that's the truth within a lot of artists in the foreground, as the elders are even there spitting their truth. Still, they're still out there. You can really still find them. You found any elders that have inspired you lately? Any stories like that? Any elders you've ever wandered into, Cash, like
Who are the
that?
elders that inspire you?
Like the ones who are just involved with music or just in general?
In general.
That could lead
Elders.
to music. Well, let's see. I mean, I have. I can't even. There's not any that are really sticking out to me right now. But there's some people who just exuberate that energy. I don't know. Like, just, I can think of some people, like some of the cats from the Eastburn. Shout out to the Eastburn open mic. I love and miss y'all. You know, fuck Corona. Corona fucked up the groove for a lot of good things, including the open mic that I went to every week that was like church, and I used to call it my church. There were some people who played there like every week, and they just like have just like a steady, constant, like, this is me, I'm a musician, and it's really inspiring for them to just be like, oh, this is just like a hobby, you know, like, this is just something I do, like, because I have nothing else to do this day. Like, I have a normal day-to-day job, like, right? And I'm like, what? And then also, like, there's some people I've been meeting, like, who I've met who like travel around and they make money by performing on the streets and stuff. And that's pretty cool too.
Like ragtag bands, essentially. They get around.
Yeah.
I see. What?
Yeah. And I've actually thought about traveling around with the cajon.
Okay, so they've inspired you.
So, yeah. Also, a Spanish teacher from high school had a cajon. And I was like, that's tight.
The combo seat and drum.
Yeah. And then drum box, boom box, beat box.
Yeah, all the boxes.
Well, I have one real final question to ask to KayKovey.
The soul stare.
As
Hit
you,
me.
as you become older, as you become an elder one day, for the communities that you're around, for the communities that you're bringing around, and the communities that you get through your town. Yeah, I like that. What are your dreams looking like? Personal, extending to the community, like a river. What are your dreams for yourself and the community?
I like to think of dreams as roots. What would I like to see? Well, I would like to see people come together more, get together more, because honestly, there's some people who are like, oh, like, I'm not gonna, like, share creative space with you because I don't know you. Now, I feel like everybody has their own weight on their own shoulders, you know, if not solely their own, then like maybe even the whole world's, you know. Get that chip off your motherfucking shoulder and work with people, damn it.
Yeah, the weight of the politics is a lot, you know.
Communicate, like, network, and like be genuine about your affairs. Like, straight up, we should be spending genuine time with each other and having these sort of conversations and seeing where everyone's at in the world and checking in with one another. I feel like that's really important. And I feel like that's something, you know, that should be shared, and that should be, you know, I feel like everybody should be able to feel heard and know for a fact that they're not alone, because some people think that they are, and that's not true.
In fact, you always got some kind of community around you, if you might not think of it like it. There's always somebody. No one lives in isolation.
Right.
Well, Ghostly Connection been Ghostly Connected.
Hey, go get connected to the Ghostly Connection community and hit the like and subscribe button.
But ultimately, there have been some inspirations, you know, that have like been like through the region. Even still, there's the Hive Network. That one.
A shout out, Lovely, with the Hive.
What up, though?
Has been an
We're
inspiration.
coming for you, Lovely. Gonna get on this podcast one of these days.
As far as
one of these days,
bringing artists,
I'll be here to crash that podcast.
together and connected through the region here over in Seattle. So, Cash, to kind of tail off my leading question, what areas do you feel like your dreams are going to take you in the future? Will it always be in Seattle or always be here?
KayKovey worldwide.
Yeah, where you headed, fam?
Worldwide.
Word. Okay, so we talking all over this planet Earth then.
Yep, and not even like just this planet though.
Cash is going to space.
Literally, like so many miles far away. You
Where
can
do we
still
go when we
feel
fall
and
asleep?
hear it.
A popular Billie Eilish album, but
You know
also
what?
something you should think about.
I love her.
Shout out Billie Eilish. One day you're going to be on the podcast too. So Is there anything else you want to leave the listeners with? What's the one piece of advice you want to give our listeners to empower them to do what they need to?
Love and let live.
Love and let live. All right. We're going to see you guys next time on The Underground. Kay Kovey, how can they find you on the internet? How can they follow and listen to your music?
Ooh, I don't even have any handles right now, but
No handles.
That's about as underground as you can
As
get.
underground as you can get.
I mean, if we can, if y'all need me to come back, like if y'all want me to come back,
We'll post a link in the
y'all can, like, have me
description.
back. Like I can get that together.
Holla if you want Cash to release her music. Put a comment saying, "We want your music, Cash."
Yeah, say something.
Don't be silent.
All right,
Say what's up.
You know that phrase, stand strong or get killed for nothing. I stand by that one. And honestly, being as this is the underground, and we giving it to you as underground as it really can be. Claim this a blessing for all our listeners. We have had here KayKovey,
The seventh guest.
Thank you for having me.
the Cash.
Thank you.
Simply more. It's simply more not about cash on that ass, but cash is gonna get to you on that ass. It's still last for cash.
It's the last.
Thanks, guys.
The cash is last, and yeah, it's just gonna come fast.
It's coming at you fast.
So, Cash, thank you for coming fast with us. KayKovey,
Thanks for having
thank you
me.
for your
KayKovey
artistic
Worldwide.
display. We appreciate you on our Ghostly Connection
Blessing
today.
us with your presence.
Much
Shout
love.
out the elders.
Also,
Peace
this
out.
art painting.
Shout out Cash's painting. She did the cover art for the podcast, so shout that out.
Whoop whoop.
So as far as artistic expression goes, so we clearly see that these avenues are not yet done for you just being open. So we hope to maybe have you back on another day to really see the developments on where you're going to go. You're within this community. So I'll say, me and the other boys in Ghostly Connection will keep in touch, and
For sure.
we'll call it a day here.
Peace out.
Peace
So
and
for all
love.
our listeners, thank y'all for coming in. This is the GC. I am UV, and we are shining out.
And it's back to the face. Oh, so Wayne, call me Young Carter.
You can find Kay Kovey
Yeah, I am a starter.
at
Not on the
KayKovey. That's Kay Kovey on Facebook.
It's all this, all over in the drink.
If you like today's episode,
My clip extended, the bitch
you
extended.
can support us by going to ghostlyconnection.com to shop for hoodies, sweatshirts, and original art by ghostabelar. You can also find singles by Brad Rame, such as Parasite and Set Me Free, as well as Robert Torres' new single, Hotline Lady.
SpongeBob, okay, let me get sandy. Patrick with cheeks.
If you have too much money and don't know where to put it, you can send it to us, and it can help us keep making this podcast. Find us on Venmo at GC Underground. You're listening to UV as Lil Wayne on a beat produced by me, Lando Diaz. All interstitial music was produced by me, and you can find me at Rate Legislation on Instagram. Special thanks to Lisa Rancifer, our social media manager. Thank you for listening.